Hi, we're going to make stuffed peppers. So this is going to be our main meal. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need 4, well, depending on how many people are in your house, I'm going to make 4 stuffed peppers here. And you need quite large peppers. And all you're going to do, you're going to chop the top of the pepper off and scoop out the insides. Okay, so we don't want any seeds in our pepper. So we're going to chop off the tops of 4 peppers. We're going to place them in an oven-proof dish. This is a big one. Okay, scooping them out. If you've got quite a big oven-proof dish, you could use some potatoes at the side, which will stop your peppers from falling over. So we've got our 4 large peppers. Okay, and what we're going to do, the ingredients. We're going to use a cup to measure all our ingredients. Okay, so we're going to use a cup of rice. Now this is brown rice. We're going to use 1/3 of a cup of beans. Now the recipe says black beans, but these are black-eyed beans. So we're going to put 1/3 of a cup of beans in there. 1/3 of a cup of cubed cheese. It's a really, really easy recipe. We're going to use a small onion that we've chopped. We'll place that into the bowl as well. So we're going to use a cup of sweet corn. We plump in. Okay, we're going to use 1/3 of a cup of olives, which I've just chopped up very roughly. There's another one. And then 3 or 4 small tomatoes. I'll put in there. Now, because we're using rice and this is uncooked rice, I'm going to put a cup of water in there as well. So we've got a cup of water which we put into the bowl. And then we're going to season it with some salt and pepper. And if you've got some fresh basil, a big clump of basil in there would be really good. If you haven't got any fresh basil, you can use, I'm using some dried basil. Plenty of seasoning in. And looking for my salt. So put some salt in as well. Okay, and then all we're going to do is we're going to mix up all the ingredients in there. It doesn't matter if you bash it up as well. So we're going to mix up our ingredients, and then what we're going to do into our peppers is we're going to fill our peppers with the ingredients. Try and sort of make it sort of roughly even. So with bits of pepper, with bits of olive in there and tomato. So we stuff our peppers, push it right down. Okay, scoop it in. It's a very, very, very simple recipe. Scoop them in. That's 3. Now I've done enough mixture here, probably for about 5 peppers, but you can just keep it in the fridge, or you can put another pepper in if you wish. Squish that one in there. Okay, so we've stuffed our peppers. Okay, now what we need to do next, because we've got dried rice, is we need to make some sauce. So I'm going to use some passata. And what you need to do is you need to water down your passata. So I'm going to splodge in about 3/4 of a cup. And then I'm going to add 5 cups of water to that passata to water it down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we water down our passata, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to mix it. I'm going to use a big spoon here. So we're going to mix it in. Okay, and then first thing we're going to do is we're going to pour some of that, which is why I'm using this sort of soup spoon. So we're going to pour a little bit into each cup. A little bit in that one, into each cup, into each pepper. So we put a little spoonful in each pepper. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put it around the peppers. Okay, very carefully. It doesn't matter if a bit more goes into a pepper. Okay, and what's going to happen is all of that liquid is going to get sucked up by the pepper when it cooks, and it's going to be absorbed into the rice. That'll be really, really delicious. A little bit more around there. I don't think I'm going to use this all up. That's probably enough. Okay, now you can choose whether you put your pepper lids back on I'm going to put them back on. So I'm going to put my pepper lids back on. Okay, and then this is going to go in the oven at 160 degrees. So not a really hot oven, 160 degrees. It's going to go in the oven and it's going to cook for about 2 hours, about 2.5 hours. So it cooks for quite a long time. Now it doesn't matter if you leave it for longer. It can stay in the oven a bit longer. And what will happen when it cooks is this is what it will look like. I'm just going to grab a fork. So the rice will have absorbed all that lovely tomatoey. All the other vegetables will have cooked and be really, really soft. And the skin of your pepper will just break away. The cheese will have melted inside. Really, really, really delicious. And it's a really hearty meal, but it's full of vegetables and rice and really delicious goodness. And the pepper just comes away. So this was cooked for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. If you cook it longer, it doesn't make any difference. It's really delicious. And that's a meal on its own. You don't really need anything else with it. So stuffed peppers, really, really easy to make. 2 hours to 2.5 hours in the oven, 160 degrees. Get cooking and enjoy. And this is week 9, so we've got 1 more week of cooking to go. Make sure you're doing the 10-week challenge.